Alrighty, guys. So it has been a while, but it is 2 days away from week one in college football. I know we had week zero games. We had a few games last week, but I did want to do my preseason poll, so the top 25, and run through that before we get into week one. Pretty excited. The defending Bulldogs will start with Oregon. So let's just jump right in. Number 25 is going to be Tennessee. I know everybody's pretty high on Tennessee this year. The up-tempo offense and Hendon Hooker, thinking that he's going to be a dark horse candidate for the Heisman. I'm not so much convinced. I know that it has given some of the top teams problems in the past, but I think they figured that out. So I'm going to put Tennessee at 25. 24 is going to be Cincinnati. 23 is Wake Forest. 22 is Houston. 21 is going to be Wisconsin up in Madison. I think they revitalized that defense, and I think they're going to have a surprisingly good year. Don't know if they'll take the Big Ten, but I wouldn't be surprised today if they come out as a dark horse candidate to at least get to the championship game. 20 is going to be Ole Miss. They regress a lot this year, I feel like. I just don't think they're going to have the offensive power that they did last year. Same thing with number 19, Pitt. I just don't see Pitt running the ACC again this year. 18 is going to be Southern Cal, USC. I'm going to wait and see what Lincoln Riley can do over there. And before I start moving them up, I know everybody's pretty excited about having him out there, but I don't think they're going to have that dominance just yet. Then we're going to go with 17, Miami. 16, Kentucky. Stoops has done a great job. I do think he is the second favorite team to win the East if he can get around the Bulldogs. Number 15 is going to be NC State with the Wolfpack, and 14 is going to be Oklahoma State. I like Mike Gundy this year. He's always got his team ready, and somehow it seems like they're the underdog every year. But I'm pretty good on the Pokes this year. 13 is Arkansas. Love what Sam Pittman did last year. I think he continues to roll on with that. Arkansas's got one of those just blue-collar work ethic teams that I really like. I think they're going to do really well. Not sure they're ready to take out Alabama like Texas A&M did last year, but it would not surprise me at all if Arkansas comes second in the West. Number 12, I've got Oregon. They've got a brand new head coach coming out of Georgia with Dan Lanning. I think that kind of gets them into a rebuilding year. Losing Kayvon Thibodeau, that's a big loss. So I've got them at 12. 11, Baylor. Dave Aranda's done a lot of great things. I think Baylor is in a solid position this year. Number 10, Michigan State. Number 9 is Oklahoma. I'm kind of giving that on a little bit of history, but they lost a lot of players, lost Lincoln Riley. If Oklahoma goes 9-3 this year, that's where I see them kind of going. 8 is Texas A&M. A lot of people, again, very, very high on them. I do give it to Jimbo Fisher, put them in the top 10, but they could be a very underwhelming season where they could do really well, bringing in that number 1 draft class like they did. We'll just see how that works out. Number 7, I've got Notre Dame. Again, brand new head coach, but they hired from within. I think that helps them in not bringing in an outside influence to not have to rebuild as much. I do not see them getting into the playoff at the end of the season, though. Number 6, I got Clemson. DJ Uiagalelei had a rough year last year. I do think he works out some of those, but that freshman phenom quarterback they've got has got to see the field at some point. I'm going to go ahead and call it here first. By the end of the year, he's the starter. Number 5 is Utah. I love Utah. I think they're the favorites for the Pac-12 easily. I think they're a dark horse to get into the Final Four. If the SEC doesn't have 2 get into the Final Four at the end of the year, Utah is in that 4. I'm saying it here first. Number 4, I've got Michigan. I think that beating Ohio State last year, getting into that 4, realizing where they need to be to get to the championship game is a big learning experience for them. I think they respond really well to that, but losing the edge rush on the outside, I think does hurt their defense, and I'm not sure they can stop Ohio State this year, especially going to the Horseshoe. which leads me to number 3 is Ohio State. The offensive powerhouse of Ohio State is there. I'm not convinced on the defensive side of the ball, so most of their games will be very much into the 40s. Their defense will let opposing offenses score probably 28 a game is what I'm going to say. A 28-point average for their opponents is going to be about where I'm going to say. 2, the defending national champions, Georgia. I know they lost a ton on the defensive side of the ball, but they return a lot on the offensive side. I think Stetson Bennett takes a step forward. I'm not so sure he had such a great game in the national championship. He had a great last 10 minutes, but he did not play a great game. But you cut your teeth playing Alabama, the Alabama defense. You do all these things, and you get secure in a system. I think it's pretty good. I also like to see Brock Vandegrift come out and sling the ball when they're putting in second. I don't think Carson Beck is going to be the second string. I think Vandegrift takes over. Number 1's Alabama. You return the Heisman winner. You return the best defensive player in Will Anderson in the country. And if history tells us anything, it's that when Alabama loses the championship the season before, they win it the next year. So I'm going to go ahead and say they're the favorites this year. We'll see how that plays out. Saban did get a contract extension, and I still think he's the best coach to ever do it. Probably will not be replicated again. But that was the first time last year. He has 2 losses to 2 former assistant coaches that's worked under him. So we'll just see how that works out. But as of now, your Final 4, if it were today, is Bama, UGA, Ohio State, and Michigan. Now, we know that's not going to be the case because Ohio State and Michigan play. If it gets to that point in the SEC championship game, Alabama and Georgia would play. Now, I know that happened last year, and both teams still got in. I have Georgia and Bama both going 12-0 on the season, but that's what makes college football so fun is we never know what's going to happen. So there's your top 25. If you have anything that you disagree with me on or anything, just let me know. Put it down there in the comments. Drop a like. Hit that subscribe button. Helps me out. And let's buckle up for another year of college football. Go Dogs.